Hi, everybody, don't hide there. It's me from Giggle Stories. And today we are going to learn an exciting tale about a magical pair of boogie shoes. So get ready to laugh, dance, and have fun. And don't forget to click the like button and subscribe so you never miss out on any of our brand new stories. Once upon a time, in a vibrant town filled with happy houses and trees that swayed to the rhythm of the wind, there lived a boy named Benny. Benny was known throughout the town for his infectious laughter and his habit of dancing wherever and whenever he pleased. He would dance while eating his cereal, while brushing his teeth, and even while waiting for the school bus. Just like you all do every day. But Benny had one little problem. He didn't own a single pair of shoes. You heard that right. Not a single pair. Whenever Benny wanted to dance, he would dance barefoot. Oh, my dancing feet. How I wish I had shoes to dance in. If only my feet could fit in shoes, then I'd be the happiest dancer in town. One day while skipping home from school, Benny passed by an old shoe store. And as he walked past, he heard a strange noise coming from inside. Curious, he pushed open the door and saw something that made his jaw drop. Right before his eyes were hundreds and hundreds of shoes, all shapes and sizes, red shoes, blue shoes, shiny shoes, sparkly shoes. And on top of all that, a sign hanging above the counter read, "Shoes for every occasion. Perfect shoes for every kid in town." Just then, a kind old woman wearing spectacles as thick as the soles of her shoes appeared from behind the counter. "Can I help you, dearie?" she asked in a voice as sweet as caramel. Hello," stammered Benny, taken aback by the sheer number of shoes. I was just looking." The old woman smiled knowingly. "Looking, are you? Well, I see those eyes of yours are bigger than your belly. So let me guess, you want some shoes, don't you?" Startled, Benny could only nod his head because somehow the old woman had guessed what was on his mind. "Well, come closer, dearie," she said, beckoning him towards the counter. "And let me find you the perfect pair." As Benny approached the counter, his eyes caught sight of an ornately carved wooden box sitting on top of a shelf. It looked ancient, like it had been sitting there for ages. The old woman must have noticed where his gaze was wandering because she chuckled and said, "So you're interested in the Dancing Queen's shoes, aren't you?" Before Benny could reply, she had already climbed up the ladder and was rummaging through the box. Moments later, she pulled out a pair of bright red high-heeled shoes. They were unlike any shoes Benny had ever seen before. They sparkled and shimmered as if 1,000 tiny stars were embedded in them. As soon as his eyes set upon them, Benny knew these were the shoes he had always dreamed of. "Wow, they're beautiful," he breathed, mesmerized by their elegance. "Indeed they are," the old woman said, handing them to Benny. "These shoes are no ordinary footwear. They are the Dancing Queen's shoes. These babies can dance all by themselves." Before Benny could even react, the shoes started to move. First, they wiggled their toes, then they began to tap, creating a rhythmic sound. Before long, they were doing a full-fledged cha-cha, twirling and whirling like Benny had never seen before. Startled at first, Benny couldn't help but burst into laughter. It was the most infectious laughter the shop had heard in years. "They're alive!" he exclaimed, still chuckling. "They're actually dancing." The old woman beamed at Benny's reaction. "That is exactly why I chose these shoes for you, dearie. I knew you would make the perfect dancing king to go with the dancing queen. But how does one become a dancing king? Benny asked, tilting his head in confusion. The old woman simply smiled mysteriously. All you need, dearie, is a little magic. She waved her gnarled finger and suddenly the shoes started to glow. What you have to do is say boogie and these shoes will do the rest. They will dance for you, with you, whenever you want them to. With that, the old woman handed Benny a small velvet pouch. Here, put this over your feet and you'll be ready to dance. Overjoyed, Benny thanked the old woman and rushed home to try on his new shoes. As soon as he slipped the shoes onto his feet, he felt a surge of energy course through him. It was as if the shoes were pulsating with life. He stood up, not believing his luck. He could feel the soft leather uppers and the bouncy rubber soles. He took a deep breath and said, "Boogie." In an instant, the shoes started to move. They spun and twirled, tapping their heels together in perfect harmony. Benny was in awe. His dream of having dancing shoes had finally come true. From that day on, Benny became the dancing king of his town. Whenever he said boogie, his shoes would dance. They would twirl at weddings, tap in bathtubs, and cha-cha during math class. Much to the annoyance of his teacher, Mrs. Mathers, you wouldn't believe how much trouble Benny got into because of his dancing shoes. One time he was at a funeral and his shoes wouldn't stop doing the hokey pokey. Another time they tap danced during the national anthem at a baseball game. Oh, and they did the Macarena during Benny's little sister's piano recital, which really embarrassed her. At first, Benny thought his shoes were nothing but trouble. But then he realized something important. His shoes weren't just shoes. They were magical companions who loved to dance and spread happiness. Yes, they did cause chaos sometimes, but they also brought joy to everyone in the town. People would gather in the streets just to watch Benny and his shoes dance. They would clap and cheer, their faces lit up with pure happiness. One day, Benny decided to use his dancing shoes to cheer up his friend Lucy. Lucy was sad because her pet hamster, Hammy, had run away. Benny put on his shoes and said, "Boogie." They started to dance, leaping and twirling until Hammy, who was hiding in a nearby bush, came out to see what all the commotion was about. Seeing a friendly face, Hammy forgot his fear and ran towards Lucy, who was watching from afar. She couldn't help but smile. Benny and his dancing shoes had made her feel better. From then on, Benny understood that his shoes weren't just magical footwear. They were magical friends. They danced with him, bringing happiness and laughter to everyone around. They taught him that being different was a bad thing and that embracing what makes you unique can bring joy to you and others. And so the legend of Benny and his boogie shoes continued, becoming a part of the town's folklore, reminding everyone that a little bit of magic and a lot of laughter can make life a whole lot sweeter. The end. So that was our tale of Benny and his boogie shoes. We hope you enjoyed this fun-filled story as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. Remember, laughter and a good boogie can make any day better. What did you like the most about the story? Tell us in the comments below. And if you haven't already, click the like button and subscribe. Don't miss out on any of our future tales. We've got lots more laughter, learning, and love to share with you. Until next time, keep dancing, keep laughing, and remember, a little bit of magic can make everything groovy.